15 minutes, 2 periods of 15 minutes, remember, and it's all about nerves as much as anything now, I think, and it's all about psychology and what the two respective managers were able to do in that few minutes between the end of normal time and the start of extra time. Obviously, psychologically, Leicester, having had so much of the play and having come back from a goal down, must be in the driving seat. But who knows? Neither manager opted to use any further substitutes during the break, incidentally. A left challenge there from Julian Watts. And I think that might earn him a caution.
I rather think Crystal Palace might have fancied the advantage there, you know. The little flick inside, putting it out very, very much into a favourable position. He's inside the fullback, running in on goal there.
Julian Watts, the first Leicester player to be cautioned after Tuttle, Veert and Hopkin had gone into his book from the Palace side. Palace have a free kick, with the words of Dave Bassett ringing in their ears. He told them that they were lucky to have this period of extra time. Now go out and win it, was his instruction. Well, he was honest, and I think he was accurate.
I'm just a little bit surprised that Dave hasn't used his subs, you know. I can understand Martin O'Neill keeping his team intact because they're the team on the up, but there's a lot of tired, or appear to be tired players, both mentally and physically, in the Palace side.
Agenda.
Certainly thought he'd got to try somehow or other to reinforce Pitcher and Houghton in midfield, either by bringing on new personnel or telling his flank defenders that they've got to push on and try and push the midfield or help the midfield a little bit more.
Houghton getting it forward to Roberts. Ender. Brown. Houghton just teases it on to Pitcher. It's a good move, this, by Crystal Palace. Danger threatens as Friedman's shot is blocked. Now, is it? Heskey brought down by Roberts. Free kick.
Been a handful, hasn't he, Heskey, since he's gone up the middle. He's shown great strength, great target play, and that's very, very clever free kick. Very sharp and incisive.
Parker inches it out to Taylor on the right. 3 men in the penalty area. For Leicester, that is. Parker chipping it into Claridge. Taylor. That's a good-looking ball. And it comes to Lennon. Shot well blocked. Parker again. Hustled out of it, but Whitlow comes to help him. He didn't realise he had it then. Parker.
He's played at Wembley a few times, Gary Parker, you know, and I bet he's not enjoyed himself ever as much as today. Virtually, him and Lennon, for me, have virtually ran the game.
Whitlow swings one in. That should be the goalkeeper's ball. He didn't make the best job of it, though. Still, he got it away. That was the chief priority. Martin O'Neill delighted with his players' efforts in that 90 minutes. He told us that he just wanted more of the same, and they would have to win it. Claridge getting held, surely, by Tuttle.
Got to be patient there, Tuttle. That's what I talked about Claridge first half. He's an awkward customer. He gets under the defenders, he gets backs into them, and so forth. And that's when defenders have got to be patient, particularly Tuttle, who's already had a booking.
Leicester have the free kick. Parker looks good. Walsh couldn't reach it. Tuttle did really well. Taylor knocked away by Pitcher. And Brown just couldn't keep it in play. The pressure continues then. Claridge just trying to shake off his marker here and finds Parker. Heskey gets it back from Walsh. And Heskey drives one in along the ground.
The ironic thing is, you know, apart from the penalty, that's the first real shot I can remember that Martin's had to really do something on. Everything else has been very much bread and butter, hasn't it, Phil?
A couple of headers, and there was that goal line clearance, but yes, it wasn't him. Watts comes to win it. And find Is it Lennon. There's one for Whitlow to run onto. Lennon. This is Parker. Couldn't find Heskey. Quinn to Endar. And he's won his side of throw-in and given them a little bit of relief, which they need. Crystal Palace, who bobbed around between the divisions, 4 seasons at the top, then they were relegated, promoted, relegated again. Can they complete the sequence with another promotion? Or will it be Leicester who go back at the first time of asking? Leicester's 4th playoff this, remember? And they've lost 2 of them. Parker. Claridge trying to get in behind defender, but the goalkeeper Nigel Martin was like an extra defender. Grayson doing well. Now Watts. Walsh. Whitlow. Roberts has been one of the best players that Palace have had today, and he defended well then. Viet goes into Walsh again. Another thunderous collision between the two.
I think you'd have to say he's been the best player, Alan.
Yeah.
He's kept them in the game with his goal, and he's kept them in the game with his, if you like, stickability at the back.
Lennon searches out Heskey. No one really in the box at the moment, so he's got to hold up till support arrives. Parker's in the middle, couldn't pick him out. Lennon with the volley, good effort. Oh, Martin just about held on. Unlucky.
Didn't quite get hold of it right, Lennon, but neither did Martin, as it was.
Huge kick from the Palace keeper. Watts was underneath it. Is it? Heskey runs into trouble. Veert's a big, strong customer, and he's certainly put himself about. And he's beaten Whitlow well here. And Endar came flying in on the far post when it had eluded Friedman and had a chance.
Good work from the Australian. Good deep cross. Endar just can't get around the back of this. But he just pulled away a little bit earlier. Perhaps he'd have been coming at a better angle, but that would really put the cat amongst the pigeons there. Yeah, about time we had this, I think. And that would be the ideal one. That would be 1-for-1.
Dougie Freedman goes off. Bruce Dyer comes on. He scored 14 goals for Palace this season, including 2, importantly, when they won 3-2 up at Leicester in October. And I understand he has a good scoring record against Leicester. Brown. Dyer's first opportunity. He slipped over. Walsh with the clearance, and it's a tremendous ball as well to Heskey. And still Heskey. That could easily have been a penalty again, but the referee, who was perfectly placed, I have to say, said no, play on. Be interesting to have another look at that.
Well, my first reaction was it was a penalty.
9-2.
Like you say, the referee shows him inside here. He drives. No, referee spot on. He's actually trod on Tuttle. Great decision. Mind you, he was nearer than us.
But yeah, you've got to praise the referee for that.
Yep.
Kind of thing that can easily fool people further away from the action than the official. Claridge to Lennon. Taylor. Still running. Where does he find it from? Run into trouble as it happens.
Yeah, he's got himself into a lot of promising positions there. Here's a goal scorer with a cup pedigree.
Yeah, Mark Robbins, who played here against Palace, of course, for Manchester United 6 years ago. And about to come on now for Scott Taylor, who's run himself into the ground. And it's no reflection on him, I'm sure, that he's the man being replaced. He's just got very little left, although that last run he managed to find something. Mark Robbins, £1 million signing from Norwich just over a year ago, will take his place.
Yeah, I think what we'll see now, I think actually that's a positive step. I think that Leicester have gone for the game now. They're going to try and definitely win it and not bother with penalties if they can avoid it. Issett's gone across to the right-hand side where he started the game. Heskey's gone to where he started the game on the left-hand side. And Robbins has gone up alongside Claridge.
5 minutes of the first period of extra time remaining. Still no addition to the scoreline. Claridge did really well then. Parker to Lennon. Those two have played brilliantly in the middle of the field for Leicester. Whitlow. And the chance opens up for Whitlow, but again it was on that right foot. There's going to be another change made by Palace now. Simon Roger waiting to come on. And no one's quite sure who's coming off. This new style of electronic numbering is all very well, unless the sun's shining on it, then you can't read it. David Topple, the centre-back, is coming on to be replaced by Simon Roger, who in fact was pretty regular, played the last few games just before the playoff semi-finals, and was an ever-present in Palace's last promotion year.
Yeah, they're still keeping the same shape, though. Simon Roger's going to go to left wing-back, if you like. Kenny Brown comes across to the right-hand side, and Ed Worthy goes in and plays alongside the centre-halves. He makes the third central defender. That's actually excluding the kid. That's the back five.
Here's Robbins, his first shot.
And that's his game, by the way. Penalty box, hitting things early on the turn, little threaded ball through the middle, latches on, doesn't take time, gets his shots in early. But that's the back five that I saw play at Derby, with the exception of the kid, Quinn.
And Roger gets his first touch, and it's a good one as well. He was brought down when he did win the ball, but player's gone on. And the other substitute, Dyer, was getting hauled back there, I thought, by Grayson. Good play by Houghton. Dyer just wouldn't sit up for him to make the shot, and Palace having their best little spell for a long time here, and Roberts tries another one similar to the effort that brought him his goal.
I think Veert was a bit unhappy with that. Veert is staying out here on the right side, looking acres of space, saying, come on, give it me, I'm at the back of the defence here. As he shapes up to shoot here, Veert's on, you can't see it in picture, but Veert's just on the right hand side. Still, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle.
Not quite sure why, but Muzzy Izzet's name has been added to the role of dishonour. Whistle's gone for a free kick, as Roger, who's only been on a couple of minutes, he could make an unfortunate entry into the record books here. He's only been on a couple of minutes and he might be going off. Edworthy gets it clear. Claridge. Still Claridge. Chips it up for Heskey, but that's Nigel Martin's ball. Palace have used all three of their substitutes, remember, so if Rodgers is struggling, he might have to just go on and be a nuisance, as they say. This is why he's injured. Naughty one from Izzet. Diet. And Brown switched over to the right. Dyer. Walsh claiming that should have been a Leicester throw, and everyone seems convinced he was right there. But
he was. He should have been a Leicester throw. It actually caught Dyer's legs as it went out of play.
Big Bruce Dyer tries to make a bit of room from the throw-in and gets it back to Houghton cleverly. Good ball as well, but Endar couldn't get any meat on the shot. Lennon's clearance, and this is easily Palace's best spell for about half an hour to an hour of the game. Houghton. Heskey was strong. Well, that's good skill and all. And off he goes. What a brilliant run by Heskey. And typically, Palace's man of the match, Roberts, denied him. It's just about the end of this first period now of extra time. Lennon got in the way of Edworthy, did well. And that's the end of the first half of extra time. A slightly different setting, a very different prize, but on Wednesday in Rome, the European Champions League final went to extra time, and that, in the end, had to be decided by penalties. I wonder if we're going to see a repeat here on ITV this afternoon in the Ensley First Division playoff final. To these players, the prize is just as big. Heskey. The whole season rests on what happens here in the next 15 minutes and maybe the penalties to follow. Simon Roger back on the field, but clearly he's not going to play any effective part. Don't think he'll be taking any penalties if they get one.
He looks as if he's struggling for his life at the moment, limping away very, very badly. That's a blow. You know, you throw somebody on, that just shows how the best laid plans can get thrown out of everything. He comes on, fresh legs for extra time. Within a minute, a rash challenge leaves him virtually, by the look of it, a passenger.
He must be cursing Dave Bassett. It's the kind of thing that no one obviously can foresee. Dave Tuttle, who was tired but physically fit, is sitting on the bench next to his manager now, when he would dearly, dearly love him out there.
Now, he also had a responsibility on corners, Tuttle, to take Walsh. You just wonder if they get any set plays, who'll take Walsh now.
There's a good ball forward for Heskey, but Nigel Martyn has not missed a thing really in his sweeper's role. Foul on Lennon by Endar, who's also in trouble now. George Endar, he's limping. Well, it would be an understatement to say there are some weary limbs out on that field. Izzet seems to keep running though. Good tackle on him. Heskey offside against Robbins. On he goes through the pain barrier. Well, justice doesn't always get meted out in the right directions in football, but I'm sure most neutral observers this afternoon will say if there is any justice, then Leicester deserve that place in the Premiership. Can Robbins give it to them here? It was a clever effort, but Nigel Martyn did have the ball covered, I think.
That was excellent play between Parker and Robbins. Great little cross run here, and a beautiful ball played into the space for him just to run onto. Doesn't need a look. Hooks the keeper. I'm not as convinced as you are about Martyn. I think if that had been closer on the target with a bit of loop on it, it'd have been scrambling. But a good link up between Parker and Robbins there.
Walsh's clearance to Claridge. Roger did well just to make any kind of clean contact then. Lennon. Walsh, who wants help from his goalkeeper here, who's dozing a little bit. Hardly surprising, he hasn't had much to do.
Just thinking that, he hasn't been in action for ages, has he, the goalkeeper?
He might be soon. 5 penalties each if we can't find a winning goal in the next 12 minutes. Claridge goes in hard. I can't remember the First Division playoff final going to penalties before. Certainly it's happened in the lower divisions. I remember being here a few years ago when Crewe against York went to penalties, but I don't think it's happened in the First Division. Pitcher tries to get a bit of distance on the throw. And there's one for Dyer to chase. Swatt's got there first, but it's dropped neatly to Endar. Lennon, how many times today has he won important little challenges like that? Roberts to Claridge. Well, Claridge. Parker with a lovely ball. Grayson. And a strange sort of clearance by Roberts. It's a corner. There's a sense of anticipation as Steve Walsh begins his run forward for this Leicester City corner.
And as I say, he's going in against without his marker this time. Tutton's been his detailed marker all match.
In goes Walsh with a tremendous header. Roberts got it clear. Parker taken off him by Houghton, who runs and runs and stops the corner. But he's lost out. Parker. Well, when all else fails, Nigel Martin has been an absolute rock. And it was a good throw out as well. Endar using his pace. Walsh using his nous.
They badly need a moment of genius or inspiration from Endar. You can't really see the midfield players getting up in support now or scoring a goal or anything. It looks as if it's got to be a flash of inspiration if it's going to be Crystal Palace from Endar.
Veer finding Pitcher. This is the time when weary limbs can be forced into mistakes. You've got to keep the concentration. You've got to summon up reserves of effort. This is the period when major matches like this are won and lost. Dyer setting it up for Roberts. Good little chip forward towards Endar. Walsh got it clear. The linesman has flagged, and I assume that's an offside. Yes, Leicester's free kick. It's got to be taken from the right place. There's Martin O'Neill about to become a Premiership manager for the first time in his short career.
I think if you ask the respective managers now, Martin O'Neill would take another half an hour. I think Dave would take penalties at this moment in time.
There's Dave Bassett about to get a team promoted for the 7th time in his career.
I think Martin O'Neill knows the longer it goes on and on and on, his team's more on the up, they're stronger, they've played better, and it would only be a matter of time before they won it.
But a cruel twist of fate could still turn this game either way yet. Has to have it back with Muzzy Izzet. Oh, well played. Unlucky. One of the many heroes Leicester have had today.
Oh, he's been a competitive little so-and-so, hasn't he? He's really stuck at it.
He's got a chance of playing national football for Turkey as well. His father, a Turkish Cypriot, his mother's English. Lennon, very much a Northern Irishman, has been another hero.
He's filled in that hole in front of the back four. Made a lot of those, as you've commented many times. That's a version of the Australian rules there.
And a lovely, quickly taken free kick, and Parker spreads it out to Robbins. Whitlow. Claridge couldn't reach it. Izzet is behind it. Just chip one up. And a tired clearance gets it away. Well, they wouldn't be this cruel to horses, would they? After 9 months of a hard slog of a season, and 90 minutes, half an hour's extra time, and still they're going for that one enticing final place in the Premiership next season. is it? Claridge. Well played, Claridge. That's a useful ball. Heskey coming in far post, and George Endar got there ahead of him. Corner. Leicester will not want the lottery of penalty kicks. No matter how well you've played in the match or extra time, anything can happen in that situation. They will want the winner, and they want it now. Walsh. Awkward one for him to head this time, and Pitch has turned it straight back. Walsh has gone down, I think, with a bit of cramp, as suddenly Palace break clear, and they've got extra men over here as well. Beard. Dyer, the man in possession. Lennon takes him on, still Dyer. It's gone well. And pulls it back to Houghton. Great effort. Now Pitcher. Dyer again. Palace believe they can win it still. Poole goes in and just got a fingertip to that one as Carl Beard came flying in. It's a corner. Well, this has been a tremendous advert for the Ensley First Division, this game. It's been a real spectacle, an exciting match with a lot of good football played as well. Roberts. That's a goal kick.
Very neatly worked corner. Roberts, for once, loses his composure.
We've got under 5 minutes to go.
It's all Leicester, then all of a sudden there's a little flicker from the Palace, and like we've just seen in the last couple of minutes, where you think, I mean, you have to fancy Leicester in open play, but every so often Palace just do something that suggests they might be capable of nicking something.
Robbins tries to flick it on. Claridge couldn't get there. Roberts again with a brilliant bit of defending. The injured Rodgers just about gets it away. Pitcher. The sun is out for the first time today. Who will it shine on in the next few minutes? Robbins has the ball for Leicester. Beard did well to close him down so quickly then. Houghton. Dyer. Great run by Dyer. Lennon's there again, denying him space. And Dyer did really well, just to hold it up. Houghton. Dangerous looking ball towards Beard. It's come off Whitlow. That's a good clearance by Whitlow. It's a brilliant ball as it happens. Claridge. Taken off him by the youngster. And he can be proud of his performance today, Robert Quinn. Another change in the offing here. There can only be one, of course, because Palace have used their substitutes. And it's the captain, Steve Walsh, who is replaced by Colin Hill, and that can only be, of course, because Steve Walsh just has nothing left to offer, I assume, because they'd normally have to drag him off. The Northern Ireland international, Hill, takes his place. Maybe Hill's a better penalty taker. That could be a factor. It's got to be the players on the field at the end who take the penalties, remember. Houghton. The Crystal Palace. 2 minutes on the watch before the penalty shootout to decide a place in the Premiership. Dyer. Going nowhere really, and Leicester have the throw. Difficult to know when we haven't had a winner yet, Ron, but man of the match contenders.
From Palace, I think you've got to go with Roberts. You've got to say Roberts has been their player. He's defended well. I mean, Martin's done okay, but he hasn't really had to make too many spectacular saves. Kept tidy. But for me, on the Palace side, Roberts has defended well and scored the goal that's kept them in there. But I think the key area definitely has been the Leicester midfield. And you can toss up. It's a toss-up between Neil Lennon, who I think's had an exceptional game, kept the continuity going, won back tackles. But I also think the lad has taken the responsibility and scored the goal, kept the game flowing with some very good passes. And I'd give it Gary Parker today, but by a hair's breadth from Lennon. Could be a toss-up between either. I think the goals actually swayed me.
Houghton getting it forward. The ball breaks to Beard. Beard's shot is blocked by Hill. That's his first contribution, and an important one. Houghton. Roberts. Good tackle by Whitlow. Here's Parker, the man of the match. Heskey. And Heskey brought down. That will be a booking for Brown. Now, I'm not sure what's happening here because Zelko Kalatz, the substitute goalkeeper, is coming on to take Kevin Poole's place, and obviously some conversations has gone on the bench there, I would think, and maybe Kalatz says, look, I am the king when it comes to penalty shootouts, you get me on there and I'll win you this match. It's the only thing I can imagine that's happened.
Well, he's a big lad, and whether they think he fills the goals, you know, when looks a bit more intimidating when penalties are being taken. I'm surprised at that, because Poole's always given me the impression that he's an excellent reaction keeper.
Well,
but
that could be the winner from Claridge. It is! Stevie Claridge has given Leicester a place in the Premiership. In the most unexpected way has paid off, and the man he signed for £1 million has scored a goal that's worth a lot more than that. Stevie Claridge hits the back of the net, and that means that Leicester are back in the Premiership.
That is almost a replica of the Cantona goal, isn't it, in the cup final, where he's composed himself and hit it. Great strike, great timing, and as you so rightly said, what a great substitution. I can't help thinking that the delay when the substitute was made, because we were confused whether the referee had blown for time.
He has
there
now.
It is now.
It's all over, and Leicester City take their place in the Premiership, and there is not a shadow of a doubt that they deserve it. It was a cruel way for Nigel Martyn and Crystal Palace to lose out in the end, when they must have felt they were going to at least have an opportunity from the penalty spot. But in terms of the 90 minutes and the half an hour of extra time, justice for once in this crazy game has been done. Leicester City go back to where they belong. And Stevie Claridge, whose doctor told him weeks ago, stop playing, you're doing yourself no good, the thyroid problem is going to get worse before it gets better. He said, no, I'm carrying on. And he has carried on and scored the winning goal at Wembley. John Robertson, former Nottingham Forest teammate of Martin O'Neill, now part of his backroom staff. Gary Parker, whose penalty got them back into the game. Well, frankly, they were never out of this game, even at 1 down. And Martin O'Neill, who was being booed and derided by some Leicester City fans just a few weeks ago, they staged a demonstration after a home defeat by Sheffield United, is now their hero. What a wonderful performance from a team who were clinging on to the edge of the promotion playoffs for weeks and weeks. The pressure was on them in the final 10 games of the season, and they were not found wanting. They were seconds away from the absolute Russian roulette way of deciding a football match from the penalty spot, but Claridge's goal made that unnecessary. Stevie Walsh, the captain, is down there now with Phil.
Steve Walsh, have you ever been involved in a match like it?
No, I can't believe it. That is frightening, absolutely frightening. You know, I thought we deserved the win. I thought we played a better football, and in the end, you know, we grinded it out again. One more game we needed, and we've done it. I can't believe it.
Everybody was preparing for penalties, and then Stevie Claridge came up with that magnificent shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all decided that it looked like penalties, but you never know with our team what we're going to do. Last-minute goal, unbelievable. What can you say? We've done it again.
But over the 120 minutes, as you say, you fully deserved it.
I think so, yeah. I really felt as though we pressured and pressured. We didn't quite get the rub of the green, and in the end, it showed. We got it.
Even when you were 1-0 down, everything seemed to be going for you, apart from getting the goal that eventually came, and then it swayed your way.
Yeah, that's right.
Here's Steve Claridge. Let's bring Steve in. Stevie, what a way to end the season.
Oh, it's just a perfect end. I thought, like, Eddie John thought, oh, it'd be nice to get a goal, and they just forgot about it. The ball just set up, and I've shinned it in, so, oh, it's brilliant.
You shinned it in?
Well, I think so. I don't know what I can't feel, my legs are just cramping and everything, but, oh, it's just a great feeling. I can't believe it. Best feeling in the world.
You thoroughly deserved it over the 120 minutes, though, yeah?
Yeah, we were a better side, definitely the better side. Went one down, had to get a result out of it, and that's been our season, back end of our season. It's what we've done all through. We've been up against it and managed to pull ourselves out of it.
So Steve Walsh takes the Leicester players up those famous Wembley steps for the trophy that goes with the prize that really matters. Sporting applause from the Crystal Palace players and coaching staff. But Wembley is about winners, and Leicester City are deserved winners today. What a dramatic end to a wonderful match, and Steve Walsh will not be allowed to go without a handshake every step of the way. And Captain Fantastic, as they call him at Filbert Street, leads his players to receive the trophy, but more importantly than that, to receive a place back amongst the big boys. Michael Alcock, the managing director of Ensley Insurance, hands over the trophy, and listen to this noise. That could be the winner from Claridge. It is!